And a very warm welcome to you all to today's edition of Lockdown SK, the interactive self-isolation talk show, broadcasting to you live from our micro streaming studios here on the beautiful island of Corfu in sunny Greece. Should there be a breakdown in our transmitted broadcast today for whatever reason, please log on to our website at www.StudioKerkyra.com or the video platform that is Vimeo.com, or else YouTube and good old Twitter, and now Twitter's Periscope. And to facilitate and help me bring this digital broadcast to you today, I'm very pleased to say we have on board the help and assistance of our wonderful producer, Claire Haas, who will be answering all your Facebook Live comments and taking those elusive calls on Skype. And, of course, no broadcast would be complete without the irrepressible help from the one and only Thomas Haas. Hello, Thomas, how are you?
Hello, Adrian. Hello, everybody out there. Kalisperasas, Kiris Kekiri, Efkaristo, Bo, Parakolusis. So, guys, thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning in another day, another warm day and sunny. It's great, man.
It's fantastic.
You know, we had just a few weeks ago, we still had to put the heating on a little bit in the evening.
Yes, yeah.
And how it can change so quickly.
Overnight,
and now it's so
almost.
hot that we start, I can't believe it. We have to slow down already. How great, man.
Absolutely. Just in case you're wondering, and if you're a little bit adverse to hearing what the sunny temperature is, please close your ears at the moment for the next minute or two. Seconds, I mean. The temperature today is a balmy 27 degrees Celsius. And it's a hot one. It's a bit muggy, but it's still lovely number same. And, of course, the sun does peep through. So we're all right here, I think. A little bit of dust still, that Sahara cloud hanging
it's
around.
Still
a
here.
bit.
It's still when you
here.
look at the misty. It's so misty. It looks misty, but it's sand. It's straightforward Sahara sand. And on one side, you can see it in the cars in the morning because they covered with the sand. And it's great. It's funny, but it's just so. The warmth, it's just standing. It's no wind at all. It's just heat. It's beautiful. It's how paradise should be without the sand, of course. No idea.
Well, Corfu is always paradise, whatever the weather is. Can I try and attempt a new Greek word, Thomas? I'm going to try and say therme keritissimi. Now, I don't know whether I've got that right, but what that should mean is warm greetings. I don't think I've got that right, but I'll let the viewers and listeners throw brickbats and squash tomatoes at me and tell me, put me on the right path.
Though, but at least, we start to try a little bit. Exactly. But hi, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for commenting already. And I got so many things in. Nikos and Annabelle Louvros is saying, welcome back. Yes, thank you very much after the struggle yesterday. I just couldn't keep the 4G going. And I lost it. It came, then I switched 3G, then back up 4. So, and that has to do with the sand, definitely. And I think today I fixed that problem.
We're touching wood here.
But Jackie Cherry is saying, hi, everyone from a very hot Corfu.
Yes, it is indeed,
Margaret
Jack.
Black. Hi, Claire, Adrian, and Thomas.
Hi.
Hope the sandstorm has passed and an overcast day here in Durham.
Yes, sorry to hear that, but let's hope we can get some sunshine pretty soon. And a very good afternoon to all those lovely people. And special hello to Nikos and Annabelle in London. And thank you, Nico, for making me laugh, although it was rather an ironic laugh with your posting about a certain president who I'm anxious to share with the viewers.
Yeah, we have to say that. That's a good one. I like
very
that.
Good.
As always, before the show, of course, we're talking to each other. But we got great comments in and say, some people are surprised we haven't fallen out with each other.
Yes, that was quite amusing,
we
wasn't it?
never. We know each other for so
long.
long.
Fallen out whatsoever. We agree, I reckon, on 95% of all things we agree on.
I think so.
I think it's about that. It's a pretty good strike ratio.
But, hey, be honest to each other,
exactly.
and we respect each other's opinion, and that's
Absolutely.
what makes it work. As simple as that. We don't have to be, thinking the same or agreeing to the same thing. That makes a friendship more interesting. Because it's especially for us when we get carried away with talking. Oh my God, we have to do a complete separate show.
Us, we get carried away with talking. I don't believe a word of it. No, get out of it.
I know. But hi guys, thanks for tuning in, Richard. Zebedee is saying hi, Thomas, Adrian, Claire. How are you today? As you see, we are brilliant.
Hi, Richard. Good to hear from you. Nice one in Bournemouth. Lovely Bournemouth. Good one, Richard.
Sarah Roseman is saying, hi, everyone. Hi, Sarah. Thanks for tuning in. Lavinia is saying, Vinny. Hello, everybody, from a very hazy Kino Piastes.
Oh,
yeah,
Vinny,
it is.
It is very hazy, and a very good afternoon to you too, Vinny. It's always great to hear that you're on board with us. We get a little bit of comfort knowing you're there in the background, you know, putting us right if we go wrong, if we make that erring turn as we might do, you know. But I know that Vinny will always correct us.
Yes, and that's good because that's
wonderful.
what we need, and that's how
Exactly.
we learn, and we're loving it. So,
Of
we're learning so much from you while we're doing that because you correct us, you do, and that's what it is all about. I mean, we are not perfect. We may be unique,
no,
mate, but
we're definitely not
perfect.
perfect by a long chalk. No.
But hello, Richard. 70 is saying it's a bit sunny in Portsmouth, but getting warmer next week.
Great.
Margaret Johnston is saying hi everybody from a cloudy but warm Kent. And Paul Bullock is saying good afternoon. Good afternoon to you too. We got a picture of him.
We got something that might surprise you coming up. Thank you, Paul, for your lovely comments on the Facebook page. That was very good to read. And also, Thomas, do you know what? Can I just share with the viewers a comment that we had in from a new viewer, a lovely lady called Frances Patricia Ann Rufus. And she left this message. Just found your station and love it. Keep up the good work. It's our bit of Corfu for now. And do you know what, Thomas? That is amazing comment because that's exactly what was the original idea we had at the very beginning when we broadcast the first show, Lockdown SK, on the 15th of March. Because we wanted to be able to share Corfu with all the people around the world who not only come here every year or have holiday homes here, but all the people that at some point in their lives have been touched by this wonderful magical island. And the fact that it's actually worked, that one viewer at least has recognized that, makes all the hard work for the 58 episodes worthwhile. So thank you very much indeed.
No, it's great, guys. And thank you so much for writing in. Stuart Moran is saying, hi all from a sunny but windy northeast of England. Steve Bowers is coming in and saying, good afternoon from a slightly warmer Manchester.
Hi, Steve.
And Sarah Roseman, bread pudding in Kent. So
bread pudding in Kent. I see how you've been baking then. It's not one of my favourites, I have to say, Sarah. But I'm sure from your cooked by your fair hands, it will be absolutely suitably delicious. Here, we're talking about food already. That's a good one, isn't it?
I know. And here, Casey Duckworth is saying, hi, guys, Claire. And Claire from a very warm Roda.
Good one.
So everything,
Kathy,
but it's great. The heat is fantastic. And people are asking, have you been for a swim already? No.
We haven't had time.
We haven't had time at the moment. Lovely Annabelle from London was writing.
Hello, Annabelle.
Hi. She was writing me a message today. She said, guys, have you seen the beaches in Greece are full with bathers, but they're keeping I saw the message and they're keeping nice distance.
Oh, good.
But I haven't seen it on Twitter until she pointed it out. Thank you so much, Annabelle.
Cool.
But we can see it here too. The guys we were earlier again quick shopping, stopped at the petrol station, and we can see how many stop to get refreshments for going to the beach.
Yes, that's a good point. And our good French viewers and French friends, bonjour to you all, have started to be able to get to the beach as well. Today is the first day, I think, in France where they've been able to do that. I saw a picture there. Only 3 people on the beach, all of them wearing face masks. No one else around, but there you go. We do strongly recommend the wearing of face masks in a confined space and area, particularly in shops and other public places like that, because, you know, you may not think you've got the disease, but you just might have. And new figures out today, we said on this program some time ago that they reckon 1/3 of the population is asymptomatic of COVID-19. Well, actually, they've revised that figure substantially upwards. They now believe over 50% now, Thomas, of the population has this COVID-19 without realizing.
That
is quite scary thought, isn't it?
Yeah, that's more than scary. That's what we said all along over the last few weeks. We said it depends on the testing, how much testing is done, because that's the figures you get, and then you know how many are infected. But sadly enough, there were more cases now in Greece and 4 more deaths. Brings, you know, just 40 cases, I think. 40 new cases been in Greece, and that brings it up. But what strikes me now, is they released a number of how many got tested, actual tests got carried out in Greece.
We haven't known this up to now.
We haven't known that. So what do you guess, how many tests? 11 million people here in the beautiful country of Greece. How many do you think got tested out of these 11 million?
I don't quite know how long the testing regime has been going on, but I will pluck a figure out of thin air and hope that it's something like 250,000, 250,000, 250,000.
Straight on, 120,000. 100,000 tests to date has been carried out in Greece. That's all. Yeah,
that's 120,000. That's not many, is it? Out of
a million?
No, that's a very small number, really. I know that many countries have had troubles with the quality of their testing kits and delivery of these things to begin with.
I know, and that's I think has a lot to do with it. It's not as they don't want to test, but some of the tests didn't work at all.
That's
then
right.
half of them were faulty by the next delivery. So you get cautious of that. So even when you get tested, you don't know, is your test working or is the test not working? That's the point. No?
Dreadful, wasn't it? I don't know. It takes you got to take a chance, really, on these things. But I think it was most important early days for all the medical staff and frontline workers to
get
tested.
that done. That's what Julie Cam did in Edinburgh. Bless Julie. Thanks, Boots, for doing that. Let me say hello again to Adam James. Hello, everybody listening.
Hi,
best wishes to all from Rock Village, home of happy horses.
Yes, I love the way he gets that bit in. Rachel Brooks as well. Hello, Rachel.
Folks, Claudia here today in Pompey. Then Anita Edwards is saying hi from Cloudy Lincoln.
Cloudy, that's the home of all the fruit. Lots of fruit pickers needed in Lincoln, should you be so interested.
Yeah, Benny Di Musico is saying good afternoon from London.
Good afternoon.
Said that we'll have to wait for next year to see my beautiful Kerkyra. And that's another thing what we talk in a minute. It's about refunds or vouchers that came out. But before we go over to that one, Leon Jagger is saying hi from Leo. Hi, Leo.
Hi,
great. Vivian from Ireland, Donegal. Hi, Vivian. Nice to see you. We missed you a little bit. Hi, Kay and all the gang from Donegal. We are on phase 1 now. We are allowed to travel 5 kilometers.
Ooh,
wow. Lol, she said. But looks like August we can play out. Looks like our plans for holiday are sliding away. But as long as we and you are all safe, guys, see you when we can. So that's absolutely a great one. Thank you so much, Vivian.
Absolutely. It's always a pleasure to hear from Vivian. You've made us laugh and chuckle a lot over these last few dark weeks through lockdown. It's funny, isn't it, Thomas? Who would have thought all those weeks ago, since the 15th of March, we'd be sitting here mid-May, and here we are, we're doing lockdown SK, but not for much longer, though.
No, not for much longer, guys. Today and tomorrow is going to be our last lockdown SK. So it's the last episode tomorrow, but not to worry, because Monday we're going to start again.
Hooray.
But we just, because we felt it's not right, lockdown. We're coming out here a little bit of lockdown now. We are allowed to move. So, from Monday on, we can start slowly moving around as a media organization. We want to show you. And when you look in, like Christopher Tabana just were writing and saying, hey guys, have you known about restaurants and tavernas are allowed to open now on the 25th of May and not on the 1st of June like originally discussed. So thanks for that, Chris. So they start opening now on the 25th. So just a week after we start moving.
You mentioned that just before we came on air, and you thought that maybe that's in reflection to the protests that we saw a few days ago. Seems like the government have brought things forward a week. Probably not international arrivals arriving here anytime soon. It's probably people with ferries and cars. That does chime with something that our German friend, Guten Abend, to all our German viewers, Rolf, he suggested some time ago that it was going to be about May the 20th for ferries. So maybe the 25th it does fit with cars, but not aeroplanes just yet.
Yeah, but that's the restaurants and bars opening 25th of May now. Sorry. No, I know it's hot today, and this is so many things happening in the last 12 hours again with the dates.
Every day. Half a day, in fact.
But restaurants, I think this has something to do with the demonstration they had. All the tourist workers, all the restaurant they said, we have to do something somehow, we have to combat that. And we know the rules now of distancing. So if we just pull that whole thing a little bit apart, we are all able to slowly operate and get in to the swing of it, because they need adjusting too. So and they have then 5-6 days to adjust to the whole thing. No?
Absolutely. And one thing we will say about Greece and all these easing of lockdown restrictions, it is subject to one caveat, one very important point, and that is that any signs of COVID-19 increasing, uptick in cases and infections, they would reimpose such stringent measures again without a hesitation. I'm quite sure of that. So although we're moving slowly out of lockdown, it's anybody's guess how long that's going to maintain.
Exactly. Yeah. That's why we're going to start on Monday with a complete new series here. So same time, same layout, same show, only we're gonna move and we're gonna show you beautiful spots of this beautiful island. That's what we're gonna do.
And we're so spoiled for choices. I don't know. It's so hard to pick one place, isn't it? But we'll endeavour to do our best and get round the island the best we can. And it'd be just wonderful to start moving again, won't it? I mean, broadcasting from such fabulous views and wonderful places. And hopefully we can talk to some people, maintaining social distance, of course, at all times. But we have got long, extendable microphones, so we might be able to grab a few interviews.
We're going to grab an interview. We start slowly getting going from next week on. So, and it's going to be interesting. And the show name changes just slightly.
Oh, yeah.
So we got it. We keep
you
that a
in
little bit
suspense.
quiet. So, it will answer that proper tomorrow. Here's going. Phil Ferris is saying, "Hi folks, I'm back. So I'm able to join the show live. Thanks, Philip.
Well
That's
done,
great.
Phil.
Thank you for that."
Back.
And a lot. Helen Mullins. Hi from Helen in cloudy Tamworth.
Oh,
hello,
Tamworth,
Helen.
yes.
It's cloudy. Man, it's here cloudy too, but hot.
It's very hot. We quite like it hot, don't we?
Definitely. No, better than cold.
Yes.
Not a lot of questions. If you have anything, a lot of stuff coming in here. Thanks, guys. That's great. But if you have anything you want to share with us or you want to know something, don't hesitate. Comment here now live or send us an email to inbox@StudioKerkyra.com. Jane Petit is saying, "Sorry to ask a gloomy question, but what have you got any updates on the Beast of Kavos?" And we got absolutely nothing.
Somebody
else completely quiet.
Yes, somebody else has asked us this very question. No, we can't help you on that one, Jane. If we did hear anything, we'd let you know. We promise you that. But no, we haven't. We haven't heard that he's been caught or that he's still on the run. We simply don't know. Jane, while I remember, thank you for reminding me, I think I got your hero's name from your lovely city of Stoke-on-Trent, the home of the Potteries in the United Kingdom. I think I might have called him by the wrong Christian name. It was, of course, Sir Stanley Matthews, who was the great footballer, came emanating from that town. He was one of the United Kingdom's most famous, or England's famous footballers around a long time ago, unfortunately.
Yeah. But great, you got that one out, no?
I did. And while I think of it, also I want to say thank you, Chris. Yes, Keynes, it was John Maynard Keynes. I was right. He was the father of free market policies, but he was also a father of a lot of macroeconomic thinking, theory, and the man that I first identified economic cycles. As you know, the normal average for an economic cycle is 7 years, and he was very much one of those that inspired a lot of policies in the United Kingdom. He's a man a bit like Marmite. You either love him or hate him.
Yeah, but here, other one is coming in. Jenny Helweg is saying, coming to Corfu for 18 years, twice a year. Really want to be there. So it's hard. People, I understand that totally.
Yeah, totally. Let's hope you can get here when it's safe and when you are able to do so. We'll guarantee you a warm welcome from us all at StudioKerkyra. And I'm sure you can't wait to get back to this beautiful, magical island. Hopefully, the island will still be here with open arms to welcome you.
Yeah, and we got more. Vivian is saying, old people that arrive in the Republic of Ireland now have to quarantine for 14 days.
Vivian,
so thank you.
Thank you for reminding me something else. Did you know, Thomas, that the British government have done a U-turn? We said on Lockdown SK a few days ago that the UK was going to implement the same as Vivian's just said about the Republic Island. They were going to implement a 14-day quarantine for all international arrivals into the United Kingdom, except the Republic of Ireland, from where Vivian is from, and France. Well, would you believe today they've done a U-turn? It's not including France anymore. No. And I'm going to say a bonjour. Ooh. I love France. I love all French people, and I think you're being treated particularly badly by the UK government. I'm here. If you disagree with me, you can phone us up live on Skype and argue with me about that one, because surely that is not the way to move forward with these Brexit negotiations with the EU. You know, come on, folks. What on earth? Where's diplomacy gone?
I know it's going
you
out the window.
You can't muck about with international relations like that.
Oh, it's. But
why
I'm not surprised.
And you know what? They'll deny that they ever said it. Well, it's written from a government dispatch on the 10th of May about France being excluded. So there's no wriggle room.
There's no wriggling. No, that's what it is. They're always freaking out of things like that.
I'm very sorry.
It's so much documentation from the media they can't move.
Yeah. And it's good that the Republic Island. But of course, here's the other irony. Boris Johnson, Prime Minister, still can't give anyone a date as to when this 14-day implementation of quarantine is going to start. All he says on the subject is soon.
Soon.
Well, that's a good word, isn't it?
Soon. It's
a lot of clarity
great
there.
Word. Yeah, soon.
Yeah,
like
I know
soon.
exactly what he means.
What
yeah.
you can't understand by soon.
No, soon. Yeah.
Sooner. Better sooner or later. Than later,
these
you know.
prime ministers, I don't know. Of course, it's a difficult job. It must be onerous responsibility to have the livelihoods of 65 million people on your minds every night before you go to sleep. Of course, it's a difficult job. We're not belittling that. But, we should have a consensus, should be a unity government during this pandemic crisis. It's like a war. They say it's a war. Well, then let's treat it like a war. Although this particular war is fighting an invisible enemy, which actually makes it far harder, surely.
Surely. Yeah, we have to see that one. I'm getting more messages in here. It's a good question from Jenny Helvet. Is saying, do you think we will be able to come in July to Corfu by EasyJet?
Well, that's a good question.
That's a good question. I got some updates here, mate.
Good.
We just go, and that's regarding the flights now. And all flights to from Italy. This is got released now from Greece. So all flights to and from Italy, the Netherlands, Spain, and the United Kingdom are suspended until May 31st midnight. All flights to and from Albania, North Macedonia, and Turkey are suspended to the June 14th midnight. Yeah?
Right.
And until May 31st midnight, all international flights are obliged to land at Athens International Airport.
Okay.
There also comes on top then the entry ban on non-EU nationals is extended to May 31st midnight. So there we go. There you have it. That's now from
comprehensive
the UK
details there.
Yeah. So
but they do change.
So May 31st, no.
Right.
But after, and she's talking from July, maybe you're just lucky enough, or that brings us on to the other. Let me here say quickly, because Helen Mullins is saying, I doubt Jenny. I'm supposed to get married. And that hits hard when you have this one. But let's cross the fingers. Maybe there's really
we're touching
something
wood for you. Absolutely.
Yeah, especially, but how is it with all the friends and family you invite? I mean,
that's a good question.
Helen, let us know. I know how many people should have been at your wedding here on Corfu now, and do you think is it possible to bring all these people with? Or I think that's another thing. What's gonna be hard, no?
Yes, maybe you can get your wedding live streamed or something like that. But yes, everything is all changed, isn't it? I mean, funerals is another sad one. You haven't been able to have anyone around a gravestone. Haven't been able to get people buried, which is just terribly sad, isn't it? And saying not being able to say goodbye to your relatives in hospital when you're passing off, that must be absolutely tragic for both the relatives and, of course, the poor person that's on their final breath, as it were.
Yeah, it's this thing, this is the
dreadful.
New normal, the saying is dreadful, and we have to somehow have to get used to that. But let us know about that. Maybe we can help out if you really able to come over and get married here, but you can't take this many guests with. Why not we go to a nice wedding here, to your wedding as example, and let's stream that to all your friends and family instead.
We could
have a day out. Why not? Let's see how we can do that. Get in contact. Why not? You know what? That's something what spreads happiness a little bit, and that's all
absolutely.
we need at the moment.
We're all about spreading joy and happiness. It's what the world needs. Absolutely, yes.
Yeah. Here comes Christopher Dabana. Boris is not in charge. Cummings is.
Yeah. Here.
And David Roseman, you know when a politician is lying. Their lips are moving. So
good observation, David. Well said, that man.
It's in love with politics. I see that. But hey, guys,
David's very sharp cookie.
I know they're very
Chris,
sharp.
They're both very sharp.
Both switched on. Yeah, I like that one. Great. But going over, because I spoke with Chris Davano earlier today, and he said, "How is it gonna be now?" Because when they cancel your flight, as they do now a lot. Some people said they booked for the 25th. They're not going to be anything because now we know until the 31st of May you are not allowed to fly. But we're only talking about 5 days.
Yes, it's not.
You know what it is?
Far,
this is a thing. But how is it now? When they cancel your flight, the only thing you get now offered is a voucher or a refund. What's happened with this rebooking?
That's a good point. So they've dropped it from the list of options. So we've had 3, now we're down to 2. And we all know where we're on cash refunds. They're still waiting, even with the pressure from the Civil Aviation Authority, the Consumers Association, with Which Magazine, threatening legal action. I still don't believe any airlines are giving out much cash. I mean, we can understand it to some extent because of their cash flow has dried up. All the airlines are in a bit of a liquidity crisis, shall we say. I did hear with the vouchers, Thomas, that these vouchers are supposed to be slightly Rolls-Royce vouchers, shall I say? They've sort of upgraded what you might get back, but I haven't seen any evidence of that.
See, that's the thing. It depends what email you're getting, how you booked, what flight was booked. When they book now June, and so it's high season. So of course, when they get a voucher, they have the Rolls-Royce of vouchers going, and with that one, you can choose then in high season anywhere you want. That's what Nikos Louvros sent us in an email, I think 4 weeks ago when he got it. So he can book anywhere in Europe he wants, because he booked high season, it's got cancelled. So when he takes a voucher, he can rebook.
That's
crazy. But what do you take? What do you do when you ask back for the money? I think you have to hit the table very hard before you get anything, and that could bankrupt a lot of airlines at the same time. So this means nobody can fly at all.
No, that would be disastrous, and many of them are in receipt of bailouts. It's all pretty nasty. On the subject of airlines, a good viewer asked you a minute ago, Thomas, about EasyJet. EasyJet is one of the few airlines that haven't actually announced their roster, what they are going to do. We've heard from Ryanair, we've heard from TUI, I do believe, and we've just heard from Aegean, but EasyJet are yet to make that announcement. Most of their cabin crew are still on furlough, I do believe.
Yeah, but I think you know somebody by EasyJet, so you're getting a little bit of information out what's going on.
And the furlough for them and many of their colleagues has been extended to the end of June.
To the end of June already. So what are we talking? Beginning of June, they're accepting flights. See, that's what we have to pick about. That's 1st of June. That's when they allowed to come.
Is different from actually arriving here.
Exactly, that's the whole thing. So when they are furloughed until the end of June, so they effectively have no cabin staff then.
Well,
or do you see it wrong?
I mean, very limited. They haven't taken everybody off and put them on furlough because they are still operating some flights, but a large proportion of EasyJet crew, cabin crew particularly, are on furlough. Their furlough has been extended from the end of May, 31st of May, to the end of June. That's the latest I heard. Also, Thomas, I had some rather sad news, in a way, an observation of his country. You remember that fantastic contributor, Dr. Neville Stiles? He phoned us in twice from Guatemala. Well, he sent me a message this morning on LinkedIn, and I was rather perturbed.
Straight from Guatemala.
Straight from Guatemala, and I'll read it out exactly what he says to me. He says, "So we are now on total lockdown from Friday to Monday, only allowed out from 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. and on foot only. All supermarkets and markets are closed. It seems COVID-19 is on the rise and the hospitals are collapsing." That's the bit that got me.
Ooh, that's bad.
Worrying news from our lovely viewer, Sir Neville.
Thank you, Neville, for letting us
Dr. Neville
know.
Stiles.
Please stay safe.
Yes, absolutely, Neville. Thank you for the message of that.
That's tragic, huh?
Maybe we can get to speak to him again on our new programme, our new incantation of Lockdown SK that will be broadcasting from this Monday onwards. Tomorrow, everybody, just to let you know, will be our last show of Lockdown SK. But have no fear, we will be back in another form and other guise. Much the same format. Don't get too excited.
No, it's going to be great. It's going to be nearly the same, but just a little bit, because it's getting easier for us to move, and we want to share this with you. Benny is saying, they say the infection rate has gone down in London after being the highest.
Yes.
They say we have built up a herd immunity.
Yes, I wouldn't get too carried away with the herd immunity, but you're absolutely right about London. It was, last figure I read, it was 0.4. Why that was significant was for a long time, London was the seriously most adversely affected place in the United Kingdom. The UK R number currently, according to official figures, is between, they can't be more precise than between 0.7 and the figure 1. Anything over 1 creates a panic.
Yeah, and Nikos Louvros is commenting nicely there and said, what goes up also comes down. That does not mean we now have immunity.
No,
so that's a good one.
Exactly right, Nico. The immunity, this R number, is important. Because basically it's a calculation as to the numbers of people that one person can infect others with this virus. If the R number, just for a rule of thumb here, if the R number is 0.5, then apparently 10 infected people can pass it on to 5 others. If the R number was 2, which is very high, then 10 infected people can pass it on to 20 adults. That apparently is how it works.
Okay, so that's how they calculate the R number.
Apparently so, according to government scientists, statistics, and the BBC, I should add. By the way, happy times in Germany. Let's put a little bit of good news in while I remember, because it is Saturday afternoon after all, and footy's advocates delight Saturday afternoon playing football. The German Bundesliga is back operational. 6 teams, 6 matches are playing today, including a local derby. A big news in Germany between Dortmund and I got it wrong now. I can't remember. Schankel. Is it Shanky? I can't remember. Schalke. That's the one.
Yeah.
Well
Dortmund
said.
versus Schalke. So that's going to be an interesting game.
But all closed behind doors, unfortunately. No spectators.
No spectators in the thing. So it's going to hit them hard too, because they rely on the ticket money of their fans, filling up the stadium and the atmosphere. No, I mean, one of the best atmosphere in the world when you go in a stadium. You know where that is?
Well, I'm biased. I'd say Wembley, but no.
The best atmosphere I've ever experienced, and I worked in a lot of football stadiums, you know that. But the best atmosphere you have at any game, with the fans, with everything, what is in, that's Portsmouth FC, man.
Oh,
definitely.
I didn't know you were going to say that.
Portsmouth FC. I've never seen fans so dedicated. It's unbelievable.
Oh no,
it was really
there.
Great. I'm not saying not the others are not doing. It's great. You go Manchester City. Brilliant. It's the same, of course, man.
Manchester United,
Liverpool,
I'm sure. And Liverpool,
of course. But you know, the atmosphere, all this thing, that singing, what was in there, the fans, they die hard. You know, well, for me, it just takes. Maybe it's because the stadium is a little bit smaller. But maybe still 25,000 people. So but this atmosphere, when they go, they really go, man.
I bet indeed. But it's good to know at least some beautiful game is being played somewhere in Europe. That's a good sign, isn't it? Of course, in England, there's another meeting, as I said yesterday, scheduled for Monday between the Premier League and the Football Association and the government. So we'll have to wait and see what happens on that one.
So Helen just wrote back in, letting us know how many by her wedding, and this was 15 people. So it's quite good. So maybe let's think we really cross our fingers for you. Does this gonna happen, and does this gonna be a fantastic day for you?
You might get away with that.
Yeah, you might get away with that. That
let's
could be
so.
lucky.
We'll wish it for you anyway.
Yeah, but please keep us up to date of the developments. That would be great.
For sure.
Yeah, and here I got another one to your question regarding, UK and France. And Jackie Cherry is writing in. Jackie is saying apparently the UK government was told they couldn't give concession to France. It had to be all the EU or none
that is,
at all.
Yeah, I was aware of that, Jackie, but I still think they made a grave error in first making it public to begin with, because it only serves rancour, and it's not exactly what you need in delicate diplomatic negotiations regarding Brexit and the EU. But you're quite right. Absolutely. That is the case, Jackie. Yes.
Yeah, and Jackie just saying her daughter is coming through at PA and is furloughed till the end of June too. So there we go. There's EasyJet and BA already.
The same. Thank you, Jackie, for sharing that piece of information with us.
I want to know who is whizzing around in the air to bring the tourists.
Whiz there. Of course, is the answer to that one.
Probably.
And a G in a little bit, because we learnt today, we didn't know this actually, that apparently throughout all this lockdown crisis, there has been one scheduled service that has been continuously flying, and that's by Aegean between Athens and Belgium, would you believe? Which then explains how we got that story of a week or two ago about the lady who told us all about her experience when she arrived at Athens airport with the temperatures. So that explains that one. But it will be good to get the international arrivals going. Italy is going to be free to move from the 3rd of June, both internally in the country and externally through outside borders. 3rd of June in Italy. That must be great news for the Italians. Ciao, everybody, in wonderful Italy. You've had it so hard, so rough, for so long, quite frankly. I know Buenos Dias, to all our Spanish friends too, have also had it very bad. But it's nice that a little bit of cheer possibly come
out
Italy.
on that. And you know what? And I really don't care. And if this virus is just go away, I wouldn't mind. Okay, you're gonna ask yourself, okay, it came, it gone. How can it disappear? I really don't care as long as it disappears. I'm happy.
Yes, well, funny you should say that. That's what Donald Trump thinks. He said yesterday, I think it was, whether the virus is here or whether the virus isn't here, it doesn't matter, because he's going to open up America for business again. Speaking of which, Thomas, do you want to hear something amazing? Shall I just let you know?
Yeah, go. I just say great, because I just got back. Christopher Dabana was writing best atmosphere, Frettenbach, play up Pompey. Definitely, And Lorraine Smith said best atmosphere at Pompey, just writing the same. Yeah, it is. And that's, thank you, Chris. And it's true, man. just grabs you. It is like this island. It's nothing different.
I take your word for it,
but
I could think of another few football stadia in the United Kingdom that could probably match an atmosphere. I won't mention what my team might be. I won't going to say anything about that. Can I just read out a quote? It was posted by our fantastic contributor Nikos Louvros in London. There, who said this? Do you think? And I'm quoting from now on. If I were to run, I'd run as a Republican. They're the dumbest group of voters in the country. They believe anything on Fox News. I could lie and they'd still eat it up. I bet my numbers would be terrific. Well, that was published in a magazine called People magazine from 1998, and you've guessed it by now, it was said by Donald Trump.
It's unbelievable.
Don't you think he was prophetic? He knew then in 98 exactly what he's doing now in 2020. To even use some of the same language is quite extraordinary, I think. I mean, we read out the quote the other day from his mother from way back, didn't we? I haven't got that to hand now, but that was quite extraordinary. She was basically saying, praise be for the world if my son ever becomes president.
Yeah.
Well, funny that, isn't it? Because now here we are.
Here we go. Yeah, but, saying that, what is this? This is nearly 20 years ago.
Yeah, 1998, he said.
1998 and coming out with a line like that in 1998. I told you, he knows, business-wise, he knows what he's doing. He's one of the best sales reps ever because he can sell you anything.
Yes, absolutely. I don't disagree with that.
When he thinks, if this is his attitude, how he thinks about his own people, it's quite shameful.
Well, absolutely, and I mean, there's a strong element of hypocrisy here, I think. And the thing that sticks in my memory is that big speech, televised debate before the presidential elections with Hillary Clinton, and he was bragging about how he was such a successful businessman, and he put that down to being able to get cheap Chinese steel imports, which is extraordinary because what does he do when he becomes president? Puts on the tariffs.
Yeah.
So no one else can benefit from the cheap imports, only Mr. Trump.
Yeah,
and now he looks like he's going towards World War III. Oh, I'm going to speak out here now. I think, Thomas, his comments yesterday or the day before about baiting China were absolutely disgraceful, appalling. I don't know who the hell he thinks he is, but there's a world. There's 7.8 billion people on this world, and even if you're a diehard
Trump
said
Thomas,
supporter,
you should have said Trump.
Why?
You said instead of Trump you said Thomas.
No, well,
it's okay. Sorry, but I know you're very passionate
I'm
about
very
that.
Passionate because I don't want us to be involved in World War III. It's nothing to do with us, and I've got nothing against China or America. I feel sorry for a large amount of the Americans, as it were. But the one thing the world does not need is World War III. We've already got a war on our hands with coronavirus, for goodness sake.
And I think that's enough. And
how to bait China? You don't need to do it. You need consensus and collaboration to get over
China
all this.
is grown up enough to know exactly what
so.
he's like, and they're not risking anything either. They're gonna wait what's gonna be happening with the elections in the United States.
November,
so it's not that far away. The Chinese can be very patient about that. Definitely.
They are, although I did read a rather depressing article a week ago that apparently Chinese diplomacy has changed in recent weeks. Up to now, they've had a sort of rapprochement with the West, and they've now gone to wolf pack mentality, which apparently is something that goes way back in Chinese civilization. So I think actually we need to be friendly with all nations, and here at StudioKerkyra, particularly on Lockdown SK, we'd love to hear from someone in China or any Chinese person anywhere in the world just to get your take on all this,
Every nationality is welcome. We make no differences from where you come.
No.
It's straight, we are all humans and we can be all friends and live together in harmony. It has been done before and we can do it again. We just have to get rid of the people, at the moment who are in charge, who are using every opportunity to upset the world to gain economically on the free market, what they call so, no?
Yeah.
Free only for them, no?
I'll be interested to see his tax returns whenever he gets to get them exposed, as it were. Scrutinised, I think is the right word. By the way, Thomas, I found out a few weeks ago that he's got a dodgy loan going back, I think it's around year 2000. Apparently, he owes China £211 million for a New York apartment that he got built, and he ran out of money and he went to China. So maybe that's the reason why he's baiting China, because he doesn't want to pay them back $211 million.
Let's just start the war so I save myself some money and get out of some debt. So, no, it is the way he thinks. It's just, I know,
And, of course, here on Lockdown SK, we like to have a fair, level playing field for everybody, because we keep reminding all our lovely viewers and listeners around the world, it's your digital platform. So, obviously, I'd be delighted to take a call on Skype Live from any Trump supporter so they can have fair play to put their side of the argument.
Yeah, and here we coming. I go over to the comments because they're coming in quick. And thanks, guys, for doing that. Here I got Julie Cammy saying, hi, Julie, thanks for watching. She's saying, join the club. Trying to get a refund from Ryanair now.
Good luck, Julie.
So that's gonna be a thing.
No,
but
not,
you know what? I
funny,
spoke
though.
a little bit about football, and it's gone over. Boom! Quickly, Melita is saying British fans are now supporting individual German teams. I heard.
Are they really?
Yeah, because they start
nice
off
one,
with the
Thanks
games
for telling us that.
earlier.
Yeah, good one.
Lavinia is saying best atmosphere of all is the Millennium Stadium in Cardiff, where Wales plays rugby. And as per Max Boise, they roll out the roof back so God can watch us play. Kimru, I'm Perth. So
yes,
great.
nice one. Thank you. They've got a good removable roof there, haven't they? Fantastic stadium.
Yeah.
A name from the past that sticks in my head is J.P.R. Williams. He was a great one, wasn't he, for a rugby player?
Oh, Williams.
Do you know, Johnny Wilkinson.
John Wilkinson.
Great play for England rugby player.
Yeah.
He went to my old school, would you believe? I never met him, but he did. And he did well.
Yeah,
unfortunately, I can't quite say the same. But no, I can, because it's my pleasure and joy and privilege to be sitting here broadcasting Lockdown SK to the whole world and all our wonderful viewers and listeners, of which we are truly, truly grateful for. You keep us going through these dark times. Absolutely.
Yes, and I hope we keep you going a little bit. But you know what? A good thing is Christopher Damana. He is a Manchester City fan, and he commented about Portsmouth, about the atmosphere.
That's
Makes
nice
me proud. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chris.
See, there is respect in
Open-minded,
football. Open-minded and saying, and that's how the beautiful game should be.
And it is a beautiful game. Absolutely fantastic.
Of course, I'm missing it too. Isn't no question. No, I mean, come on.
Millions of people around the world are. You know, it's one of those unification things, isn't it? Everyone can unite around a game of football.
Yeah, and when we spoke about atmosphere, Jane Petit is saying the best atmosphere is Formula One at Silverstone.
Oh,
I go every year. I've transferred this year tickets to 2021. Oh, you great. That's fantastic. And while I got you, because I have no idea here, when is the Formula One season now start? Is it thing because I'm looking, I want to see that. We both are great. Formula One fans, we're mad about it. So, like you, that's great.
Right. Well, they're still in negotiations, but what I can tell you is the Formula One administration and the government involved, Austria, have signed for 2 races at the Red Bull Ring.
The new Red Bull thing.
On the 5th and the 12th of July. And then after that, don't get too excited,
no,
2 races at Silverstone.
Ooh, two
races at Silverstone.
2 races at
Yes,
great.
I know. Of course, it's been subject to government, UK government approval, because the problem with the United Kingdom is the threat of this 14-day quarantine. As you know, 7 of the Formula One teams are based in the United Kingdom, 7 out of 10, would you believe? And of course, if there's an accident, the teams have to go back to base. So the 14-day quarantine period implication would be very difficult. So they're still in negotiations. I think there's another meeting scheduled for Monday. They like to kick these things down the road, don't they? Also, the Belgian government has agreed on the 30th of August for Spa Grand Prix, and the FIA are hoping for races in Spain, Hungary, France and Italy. And good old Germany. Germany has offered Hockenheim as a standby in case it's needed. And I think
Hockenheim
that's
is great.
Yeah, absolutely. But it's good that it's on ice, ready to be used. That's good.
Also Hungary is a great circuit, man.
Yes,
interesting race every year. The fights you can see in the corners. Oh, John got me going. It's fantastic, man.
But if and when these wonderful Formula One races do commence, it will sadly be behind closed doors, but at least hopefully we can get a full Monty's worth on the television. Let's hope so. I'm glad you're a Formula One fan, Jenny. So are we here at StudioKerkyra.
Yeah, and Stuart is writing in and saying the best atmosphere is the Millennium Stadium in Cardiff.
Another one.
But for the Speedway Grand Prix, and I believe you there. I watched that twice.
I haven't seen
that's unbelievable. It's great. It's fantastic and well organized. And that you can say with everything they do in the United Kingdom with organizing the sporting events. It's so fantastically organized. So you as fans get really the full story, you get the full experience, and that's what it's all about.
And that's what loads of people have been missing these last few months, isn't it? I mean, it must be a terrible shock because football, a lot of people live their lives for football, the beautiful game, as we keep saying, and Saturday is their key day of the week usually, isn't it? So it must have been a little bit funny and strange for the last few months on Saturday.
Lavinia is asking you, did you go to Lord's Wadsworth, Adrian? I grew up in Odiham.
Odium. Did you
Odium.
say Odium?
Yeah.
I know Odium. No, I was in Frensham. I went to a place, it's no longer in existence. It went bankrupt sometime after me. It was called Pierpont. Pierpont, if you wish to know that. I was a complete failure at school, absolutely failure. And I had serious issues with my headmaster, I can tell you. But that's another story.
That's
Another day. Yeah.
A special for Adrian. That's great. But here, Jackie, thank you for updating us so brilliantly. Jackie saying only 9 new cases in Greece today and 2 deaths. I mean, still too many.
Yes,
but, 9 cases when it comes down. I think
when you look at it in the big picture of things,
it's definitely only 2. It's all right. It's still too much, but
if we can keep maintaining social distancing and the washing of the hands, face masks and gloves, we might be able to get through this. Let's just hope we don't get a second wave by being too premature in opening up or down the drawbridges, I should say. I mean, we perhaps we are lulled into a slight false sense of security here on the beautiful island of Kerkyra because we are on an island. But then again, so is the United Kingdom.
We're not confronted with it. That's our problem. We don't know anybody who had it. Or has it or
not
had
on
it.
this island.
Not on this island, but that's
elsewhere.
also for but also for the other. That's the locals. I don't know. Nobody I know, and so had that. There's nothing going on.
That's a good point.
When you're capsuled up or off, like we are here in Corfu, how quick they responded. Of course, you get. There is nothing. I don't know anybody. Nobody else. I know somebody who has it. So you know what? We are safe. We are all right. And I only so hope it's gonna stay this way when we start having holidaymakers here. And I'm a little bit doubtful with that because I when you read all the other news articles coming out, cases going up, going down, going up, going down. Germany, they said they're going up at the moment again.
It was a bit, yeah.
But it's now you don't hear anything.
No.
Yeah. So
it went up just a bit above 1, I think I read 1.1. But for some reason, the German government said they weren't that unduly worried about it. Maybe they know stuff that we don't. I think Germany, comparative to lots of other countries, have done quite well, if such a thing is possible to say. When anyone dies is too much, really. They're also discovering something that we were talking about before we came on air, Thomas, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
We've got in our heads that COVID-19 is mostly a respiratory lung disease, but actually, apparently, it's all about blood clots too.
Blood clots and things. Red blood.
Yes,
cells and
exactly,
it off.
Deprivation of oxygen, exactly right. And of course, that then is leading to other serious complications like strokes and heart disease. And maybe that's the reason why we asked this question many times. How come the recovery rate doesn't seem to be as high as we would expect it to be? Well, I think lies the answer. So many people get serious complications that they end up remaining in ICUs, intensive care units, for longer than you would normally expect. That might be the answer.
That could be the answer. I think
it's
you're
very
not far
worrying.
off there, man.
Very worrying with these blood clots, though. That's a really bad one. And of course, the children, the mysterious case, which is the toxic shock syndrome that they're discovering in children. We mentioned this, I think, briefly the other day. 100 or so more cases in the United Kingdom, quite a lot in the United States and across Europe. Children are getting very ill. They weren't sure what, but it is symptoms of COVID-19 in children, which apparently a little bit different to adults. So,
and I'm just checking our internet speed here and everything is okay. Wow, thanks God
we're
for
touching wood.
that
Absolutely.
one. We're touching definitely
wood. We don't
wood.
want any more gremlins, do we now?
No, it is. When we look in there now, when you say there's the cases, we're not sure. I mean, now they're saying Austria opened it up and Germany down to Greece. I got something from Mr. Golden. He's saying he's gonna drive from the UK to come as soon as possible. As soon as their window, he tries to drive here to Corfu from the UK, and he loves it because the drive is like having a couple of days holiday at the same time. It's beautiful. I've done it several times and it's great.
Correct.
But I hope, but we told him, please keep us up to date. If you really can travel, we would like to know about that and tell, of course, everybody out there how the experience was.
Absolutely.
So, you got a couple of things more here, though.
Well, yes, I'm going to say a story tomorrow. Here's a question for our lovely viewers. What country do you think has really handled the case of COVID-19 extraordinarily well? Have a think and answers tomorrow, and I'll tell you about this one country, but I'll save that for tomorrow. Yes, I've got a couple of short, good news stories.
I got here a couple of things in. Sally Roberts is just saying, hi, old, just made it. Been working the allotment. Lovely day. Oh, that's great. But here, Pandora Doyle is watching. Hi, Pandora. Thanks for watching. She says, I know a few people who have had COVID-19.
Right.
And I have attended 2 online funerals, which is sad, you know.
An online funeral, Pandora, I can't quite imagine what that would be like. That's good that such a thing is in existence for sure, but that must be a strange experience.
I know it now as personal experience. My cousin, 57 years old, he died sadly 2 days ago in Austria. And he studied all the 20 years ago. He was responsible for designing all the restaurants at the IKEA worldwide. So
famous
he was
for their meatballs.
Yes. And he put the menus and everything together for them.
Okay.
So he was quite influential there by IKEA. And sadly, 57 years old, 2 days ago, he died. And the restrictions for his funeral today were massive. So there were really only 5 people allowed.
So sad, isn't it?
And because of one of the reasons, they had to switch the Wi-Fi off in there because of the funeral. Everybody tries to stream that.
Oh, right.
So they had to take the step now of switching the internet off, but they just couldn't cope. But it's sad when you can't even watch them. No. It's so. And my mother said, "Wow,
it's very difficult.
It's for my aunt. It's hard because it's not nice to bury a child. That's the last thing you want to do. Of course, the worst thing you can do. No, but the restriction. And my mother said, "Yeah, it's sad, but we are 5 there, and that's it. Everybody else can't come and can't see it."
So I suppose the value of the online service must be quite extraordinary. Better that than nothing at all. I mean, I still remember the tragic case of a 13-year-old boy from Brixton in London who died, and none of his family could be in attendance. I think that is so sad, quite frankly.
Yeah.
Do you want a little good news story?
Yeah, let's go over good news.
It's about food, I'm afraid. Sorry to bore you.
Is it about
food?
Yeah.
Did you know that Thursday just gone was the first time a Michelin star restaurant has been able to open in Europe? And it was in Switzerland, in Zurich to be precise.
Swiss.
It was
nice.
Let me see if I can find the name of it. No, I can't actually. But anyway, it was. It's the first hospitality sector in Europe to be opened. And the menus were on paper, which you throw away afterwards, would you believe? The wine list was on an iPad, which is continually wiped, and customers' jackets have to be left outside in cars or else on the chairs. The waiters would take no responsibility. All the staff are wearing masks, and customers can request plexiglass screens, should they so wish. But the funny thing was, a new designer product has emerged from this, and that, would you believe, is disinfectant or gel. It's a brand called De Frères. I probably mispronounced that, and it's now become a designer brand. It's a pharmaceutical brown bottle, and it's tinctured with botanicals, and it has a very high concentration of alcohol, courtesy of a local gin company. So apparently this sanitizer, made up mostly of gin in Switzerland, has become a designer brand. But anyway, if you want a Michelin star meal, you can get one now in Switzerland, Zurich that is. And in Amsterdam, here's more suitable for mass market dining, I suppose. There's a restaurant opening up in right by the water's edge on a canal, and they sit. You can have about 4 people in little greenhouses. It looks absolutely fabulous because somehow they look Dutch style. It's just in keeping. The food comes served on a board, and a long board that gets left at the table. And again, there's disposable menus on paper and stuff. All the staff are in masks and gloves. But the chef there called it COVID secure dining. And she basically says we have to start co-living with the virus, which is interesting point.
Interesting point, and a good point actually, because I think we have to. When you look into that for the vaccine, they're saying a proper vaccine won't be here for the next 2 years.
No,
yeah? That's what the latest WHO, I believe.
I think I've heard that too. The name of the restaurant in Amsterdam, if I've got this right, is Mediamatica, and also it's the instead of the staff wearing masks, they're wearing those rather fancy perspex headgears, which I think is actually better.
I think
somehow
so,
they look more aesthetically pleasing, and certainly there's that cleanliness factor in the mind when you're serving food.
Yes, exactly. And this look, as you say, it looks better. And this is more security, not just for the staff, also for the guest who sits there. And it's quite good. So no, the new normal gonna look funny for the beginning.
It is, isn't it? Yes, but we all have to knuckle down and get on the best we can, collaborate. It's supposed to be a war. It's a war against an invisible enemy. But by goodness, it's an enemy that's killed so many people around the world, and 4.6 million people are affected by. I'm concerned about Brazil, you know, the highest cases in the Southern Hemisphere. I think they got 200 and something thousand cases. The thing that worries me about Brazil is the indigenous Indians.
Yeah, and that's it. But here I'm getting in. Malita is saying, according to my son who lives their part of the year in Thailand, Thailand have done very well with the COVID.
Guess. Yes, they have, Melita. Actually, it wasn't Thailand that I'm going to mention tomorrow, but you're absolutely right. They really have. The economy suffered tragically. I hope those elephants are all right that we keep going on about. But yes, Thailand has done well, and there are a few countries, but I'm going to mention another country that I think's done quite extraordinarily well. It is a country that we have mentioned a few weeks ago on lockdown. So we're just going to give you a little update, but we'll save that till tomorrow because we're hoping to fit in today a poem that we talked about yesterday. It came to us via Phil Ferris, our wonderful viewer in Cornwall, but it's actually penned by a gentleman called Rob Townsend. So we'll be giving you a lockdown poem shortly.
Yeah, and let me switch over here, and that's our people. That's now.
Great. Yes, that's our fabulous new viewer, Paul.
Paul too?
No, Paul Bullock, I think.
Paul Bullock, exactly. Paul sent that over. Sorry, there were two Pauls. We got pictures in today. Yes, that's why I got confused.
Wear blue, but this is look at
Paul
those tattoos.
Bullock,
they're incredible.
His
aren't
love for Corfu. Look at that tattoos. The island on the right side. Then just beneath that is the olive branch. And above there is Mouse Island. I don't know what god that is. I have no idea. So Paul
could be Poseidon or
let us know. But you know, and that's commitment. There you see it's how this island can affect you. It's just it grabs you and doesn't let you go. It's hugging you constantly if you're here or not. It just makes your heart warm if you just say Corfu.
You're right, and you're right also about the analogy of the island hugging you. I wonder what the Greek word just below his neck is. Perhaps Paul could let us know. By the way, Paul Bullock, there,
Volos, I don't know.
You were very kind by saying about this program. You said it's very calming to listen to. Great show. Well, thank you very much, Paul. It's only great because of lovely people like yourself, and this is your digital platform, and you're living proof of that right now. It's great to have an exchange of photographs and selfies and all the rest of it, isn't it?
Great. But there we got there. Look at that.
That's the Paul Jew.
That's Paul Jew now with his lovely dog. And they both they're doing social distancing, but they're wearing masks. See, and that's great. You know, going on, but that's fantastic.
I wonder what the dog thinks about it, mind you. But we'll assume he was okay.
He looks happy.
He's a good master,
of course. But that's a great picture. Loving that one, Paul. Thank you so much for sending that.
Cheers, Paul. Always good to hear from Bogner.
Yeah, that cheers us up, and that's great. Thank you so, guys, because it's you what make this show, and it's great with all the comments we're having here, guys. Thank you so much. Just keep them coming, and if I forget anything, please don't be angry with me. I try to put it in to the next show. So
we'll squeeze it in.
It's a lot, but it's great. I'm loving it. I'm enjoying it. Pavlos, doesn't it? It says Pavlos on his back,
right?
Doesn't it? So we see, okay. Yeah, the letters too, no?
Yes, well, you know, I'm half blind, half deaf, whatever. But no, my apologies. Sorry.
Yeah. And one last thing is from Helen Mullins regarding her wedding. She said coming over here wouldn't be the problem, but it is just the 2 weeks quarantine.
Yes,
when we go back. That's
be
what worries a lot of people.
Totally, Thomas. It's something out of the sky, isn't it? No one saw that one coming. But we must remind everybody, it hasn't actually been written into law yet. It's still soon is that word. Maybe we'll have clarity next week on that one.
Yeah, definitely. Hopefully, not definitely. Hopefully, definitely. We need some clarity.
Formula depends on that.
On that one, and you know what? He said very soon, so I hope he makes this very, very soon.
Well, he's been saying that for 2 weeks.
Exactly.
And
it's
exactly
what
2
is
weeks.
Annoying, and that's what getting people up, because Nikos Lou and Annabelle was sending over what's happened in Hyde Park today. And I saw the pictures. Right. We saw the videos too.
Terrible.
I mean, that disgrace.
They made this choke, actually. Are you going to show it?
No, I'm not going to show it because I don't want to.
Shall we let people know? Okay, what it was.
Know,
we'll just verbally say that. I mean, let's be honest here. Hyde Park, particularly Hyde Park Corner, is the one hallowed place in the United Kingdom where basically you can stand on a soapbox and say what on earth you like, free of slander, libel, and every other laws. But I think some demonstrators took it a little bit too far today. There were quite a lot of them chanting slogans about free us, very anti-lockdown. And I mean, all those police that had to be getting involved, and I mean, obviously didn't want to do that on a Saturday afternoon.
Of course. I mean,
but
we're
these
feeling
people
for the coppers
seem to be
too,
in denial of this disease, and that's what I can't understand. And when we make this point so many times on Lockdown SK, what an insult to all the medical staff.
Everybody who risks their life on the front line and given their lives
lost their lives
exactly. And then you come out and say, I want my freedom. I don't, I'm a free man. I'm not the number. What has this to do? I mean,
that's a line from that famous 1960s television series, The Prisoner, isn't it? But that's not relevant to COVID-19. There wasn't a pandemic then. I mean, they'd have said differently then. This is a really serious thing that's affected the whole globe. There's hardly a single country in the world that hasn't got a case. Even some of those islands in the Pacific, would you believe, have got COVID-19 on them. I think there may be one place that hasn't, and that's only because they've been in total quarantine and lockdown from the very first word. It's a small island, I can't remember what it is now, but just about every other place has got a case or more. And we've just heard from Neville Stiles,
exactly.
Neville Stiles, who was on the programme live, and he was, 2 weeks ago, he was saying, there's only a few cases, but now there's substantially more, and he's very concerned about the hospital situation.
Because when they collapse, that's it. Your health system is gone.
Absolutely. That's
then
the key
chaos.
Thing here. Yeah.
And that could happen. But, going out and demonstrating, we want to be free, we want to be seeing. And you can see on the news how many of the frontline workers are dying. I mean, that's not a joke anymore. They should be really prosecuted heavily.
It's almost a hate crime, isn't it?
It's like a hate crime. Exactly. Exactly. Make everything they risk, not just their own lives, also the lives of their family. They had to distance themselves from their family for weeks because they were frontline workers. And and it's not pretty when you want to see your children and you can only see them through a piece of glass. So I think people who go out and demonstrate, they have nothing better to do. They moan about everything. Doesn't matter what you do, doesn't matter how you do it. They're just gonna go out to demonstrate because they wanna demonstrate for what it is. They actually don't care. But going and being that dumb, I call them now, because they are dumb.
Well, I think that shows a degree of ignorance, definitely.
If they are so happy to go out and say, okay, guys, you can go out every day and do different chores, what others don't want to do because they're afraid of it. You take over, you do it because you think it's anyway a hoax. So then they should be, but I want to know really how many of them are on furlough.
Good question, Thomas.
I go demonstrate and say, but I take the furlough money here. If you believe this is all rubbish, what is said, we get lied to, why do you take the money?
Well, and why would the Chancellor of the Exchequer have to pay out another £80 billion just in extension of the furlough? There's 160 billion. The UK Treasury reckon it's going to cost the UK over 300 billion in this pandemic. That's more than the Greek, I don't say Greek banking, the financial crisis. And lots of other things all added together. The recession, so you imagine that. No figure can match 300 billion in the United Kingdom since Second World War, I think.
Exactly. That's it. You know what? We got a good comment in earlier where I said, we are in a worst financial state, or the worst financial state since the Second World War.
And that's definitely
Only
true.
the difference there is, this situation got over the last 2 months. The Second World War lasted 6 years.
That's a very good point. Which reminds me, Thomas, another thing about John Maynard Keynes, which was pointed out by another viewer and contributor of ours from Nottingham, Marcus Benison. He told me that actually he was known at the time, this is Keynes I'm talking about, as the brightest person in Britain. He died in 1946. He was born in 1886, I think. But he was the man that negotiated and fixed the repayments of the loans between the United Kingdom and the United States of America for the Second World War. And I didn't know this, Thomas. Do you know the final instalment of that loan that was negotiated after the Second World War was finally paid in 2006? Wow. So thank you very much, Marcus, for reminding me that. Yes,
That's great. Thank you, Marcus. Brilliant.
I had slipped my mind that. But that was down to John Maynard Keynes. So even if you don't agree with his free market economics and everything else, at least he did one good job maybe. Although, I don't know, 2006, that's a long time to be paying off a debt, which I'm saying because is probably going to be the case now. I have heard one small thing that Boris Johnson may have done another U-turn and he's not going to agree to austerity to pay for it, more like the other one of taking out an extended loan and paying over a long period of time.
We can only watch and see what's gonna happen. But before we get, because it's really an hour again, before we go there, I wanna hear that fantastic poem from you, because I think it's
from Rob
great.
Townsend.
Rob Townsend, and thank you so much for giving us permission. If you out there got a poem you want us to read, please send them in. Go to inbox@StudioKerkyra.com and send us an email with the poem attached, or send us a comment or a message through Facebook, and we would be more than happy to read that out to everybody.
Absolutely.
But that's a good one, and thank you so much for letting us do that.
Right, thank you, Thomas. It's called Shapeless Time by Rob Townsend, a Saturday evening sonnet. Elastic band of time is stretched to break, or it's already snapped. It's hard to tell. The shapeless days and weeks become opaque. We're looping on a ghostly carousel. The kitchen calendar's a mess of ink. We cross out all the plans that we had made. So all we do is sleep and eat and drink, do nothing forever, repeat to fade. Today is Blends Day, or maybe Blur's Day. We're suffering a stuttering of time. It's March or September, July or May, a marathon without a finish line. No milestones, markets, no red-letter days, just the monotony of lockdown haze. And I love that poem because it does sum up, I'm sure, an experience for millions around the world of exactly what lockdown has been about for them.
Great.
So well done, Rob Townsend, and thank you very much, Phil Ferris, our wonderful viewer in Cornwall there, for alerting to me, on Twitter, that is.
On Twitter,
I better just
great.
give
Thank
you,
Rob Townsend, for
there's a
letting
hashtag
us. That's
there.
a great one.
The hashtag is hashtag poet in lockdown, and Rob Townsend, you can get him on Twitter at Rob Townsend. So thank you very much, gentlemen. And any other poems, as Thomas has just said, that you want, that you've written or you know about, that you want read out, please flood us. We'd love it.
We love it, definitely. We're loving it. And here, just the last message in what I'm getting now is from Bo Bullock, and he's saying, "Hi again, guys. The Greek god is Zeus."
Oh,
of course.
Terribly sorry, my God. Thank you for correcting me. Nice one, Paul. Zeus. Yeah, of course it should have been. We should have known that, didn't we? I have to say, I haven't seen many illustrations of Zeus.
No, it's quite, Dionysus.
We'll keep an eye out for him.
Yeah.
He might be around. We need him kind of
you
now.
Never know.
We need someone's help, that's for sure.
And here, Medita is saying, lovely poem. Julie Cam is saying, great poem, captures these times brilliantly.
That's what I
and
thought.
Margaret Johnson, lovely.
It
Spot on, guys. Spot on. It is. It is
I think
fantastic.
Rob Townsend's got a real cracker of a poem there.
We're gonna put his link up on our page, so you guys can go over to his account, follow him, and look into his poetry. He's very gifted,
Absolutely.
Definitely.
It was
Thank
a poem of the times, wasn't it?
Definitely a poem of the times. But before you go, I wanna go back a little bit in time here and have a look at that one. That's just before we leave now. I wanna show you these pictures, guys.
Heavens,
and who can remember that? Wow, I remember it. My first time in Greece in the 80s with my family, and the guys were walking with these cabinets and bakeries in there along the street, along the sea, from promenades, and I loved to always to buy these sweet sugary dough.
Sure. Stop it.
That was great. But this is so pictures,
looks good, doesn't it?
It's great, and it takes me back. I hope it takes you guys back too. And that's one why I said we're gonna bring a picture of this beautiful island of things from the past now. Nearly every day we look in it. I got great stuff sent now, great pictures sent. So thank you guys for taking part and sending that. But that's Greece, and you know what? The new normal, maybe it's coming back that way. I really, really hope so.
Yes, street food. There's a good place for street food, Do you know, I had one of the best kebabs ever in West Africa, and it was cooked on a reconditioned car engine. I kid you not.
No, I believe you.
It was tasty.
Man. Well, it's tasty, isn't it? Well, a little bit of oil tasting. No.
It's all helps today. Maybe it fought against COVID-19, although they didn't have it in those days. But dreadful thing. But yes, it was exciting and it was very tasty. And that's the thing about Africans. They're incredibly good with their hands with recycling. Everything has got a reuse. And maybe there's a lesson for us Westerners there about that. Yeah.
So let me go over to the last comments now. David Rosemary saying, wonderful observed poem and well read by Adrian. And the same is Philip Ferris is saying, well done, Adrian, well read Indeed. And you did it, man.
I don't know
Beautiful.
about
Thank
that,
you.
but to hear you say that, Phil, makes me extremely happy indeed. So guess what? I'm going to give you a thumbs up. You're a good bloke, mate. You're top bloke, actually. You're blibbly top. I was going to swear there. But you're an excellent bloke, Phil. No, I really appreciate, Phil, your input. It's been fantastic.
It's great.
We love all your input from all around the world. Just keep it coming, folks, because this is your digital platform. And don't be worried that Lockdown SK won't be filling your screens on Monday. We've got a suitable alternative instead.
Yeah, so that's going to be all revealed tomorrow. But as always, that's all we have time for today, guys. Thank you so much for writing in all these fantastic messages. It's great, makes us happy here. But as I said, that's all we have time for today. I hope you guys stay safe, be vigilant, like Sing said. Look out for that, and I hope we can see most of you, if not all of you, soon here on this beautiful holiday island of Corfu. If there's anything we missed today, I really, really apologize. I'm trying to catch up tomorrow with it. But otherwise, have a fantastic Saturday evening. Enjoy that fantastic weather and dream about this beautiful island, because you could be here very, very soon. That was brilliant. But until tomorrow, 6 p.m., the last of our lockdown, have a fantastic evening. Thanks for watching, and Kali Nichter from me.
Yes, and as always, thank you so much for sharing your time with us. Enjoy the rest of your day, stay safe, and a very good afternoon to you all.